21 days to stop translating in your head when speaking English. Is that even possible, Teacher Prix? Let's talk about this in this video. If you don't know me very well, hi, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. I appreciate you subscribing to this channel because there are many wonderful lessons for you. Now, that being said, guys, at an intermediate level, because this video is not for beginners, this channel is not necessarily for beginners, it is for intermediate speakers. And at this moment on your journey, not just with you, but many English learners cannot speak, or they don't feel confident speaking. They get stuck in conversations because when it's time to speak, the translating machine begins. And you start thinking in your language and thinking in your language, and you cannot keep up with the conversation because you are stuck in your head, thinking in your language and translating every single word, trying to English. Consequently, many of you get stuck, and with time, you begin to feel insecure and afraid of speaking the English language. Now, that being said, this is something we can change. And why 21 days? I want to make this very clear at the beginning of this video. Don't expect miracles after 21 days, okay? To be completely honest, 21 days will be a cycle. You will need to repeat this cycle more frequently to build a habit, okay? Research shows that on average, it takes a person, a regular person, an ordinary person, 66 days to form a new habit. In some cases, it can be more, okay? So for permanent change, you will need to repeat this cycle, but I will give you recommendations of how to do it. So stay with me until the end. I even prepared a 7-day challenge focusing on the 3 tips that I'm going to give you here in today's video. And as I was mentioning before, your brain is very smart, okay? Your brain is super clever, and you need to be intentional with your practice, with your decisions. And the 3 tips I will show you will require that, having intention, being intentional and consistent with the practice. So, the tip number 1 is a mind detox, okay? And I call this the fight through. Don't stop believing, don't stop fighting. And why is that? Your brain will be very resistant to this change because it is in the brain's nature to look for familiarity, what feels familiar, what feels known. So your brain is always looking for familiarity and safety. And the activities I'm going to recommend will go in the opposite direction. Therefore, you need to persist. You need to fight through with this mind detox. Otherwise, your brain will win. Will win with the habit of being safe and just keep translating and getting stuck and staying in this bad cycle that will only build up your insecurity when it's time to speak. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, what is this detox? How does the mind detox work? You will start with the MWO commands, okay? I gave them a name, MWO, okay? They are small commands. You will have a mental command, you will have a written command, and you will have an oral command. Pay attention. This is the strategy you're going to follow. That's actually tip number 1, the mind detox. And don't get me wrong, you're going to repeat this cycle for the rest of your journey. You will start with 21 days. You will notice change, and hopefully you will keep on doing this practice, including them in your everyday practice, in your everyday life. I do this all the time. Actually, as I was preparing this lesson, I did these 3 exercises because there were some words that I didn't know, and I was conditioning my brain to think in English, okay? So how does the MWO commands, how do they work, okay? We have the mental command. So you need to start taking some time of the day, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and intentionally stop and only think. Quiet the mind and remind yourself of the English language in English. Not trying to panic, looking for words. No, just let what you know come. Don't resist that, okay? Then you will have the written command. You will have to write a little. These activities will be short. I don't want you to do this for a long time, okay? It's a short activity. 10 minutes at most, 10, 15 minutes. 10 minutes will be enough, okay? An oral command. So we have the trio, okay? Like mind, writing, speaking. And as you can see on the screen, there are some objects here. There are 4 objects. Maybe you know how to say them in English. Maybe you don't know how to say them in English. It doesn't matter. What I want you to condition your brain to detox the mind is the automatic action you have. Oh my God, I don't know what to say. Oh my God. And then you start thinking in your language, talking to yourself. Oh my God, how do I say that in English? No. Now, because this is practice, first, mental command. I'm going to look at the picture number 1. How could I describe this in my head? In English. I don't know how to say this in English, okay? I know. I know. But let's suppose you don't know how to say this in English, okay? You will start a short dialogue in your head. How do I describe this to myself in English? Oh, in my head, it's an object. The 7 dwarves at the Disney movie, the Snow White, they use this to get the rocks, to hit the diamonds, the rocks in the mines. It is a tool, okay, to break things, to break rocks, for example, okay? And don't be judgmental. This is a bad explanation. This is not good. No. Just accept the explanations. That's what I want with this practice. It's the mind detox. Because every time you are in a conversation, you're very hard on yourself. So at this moment, we need to detox that attitude. Then we go to the next one. Let's see, number 2. Oh, okay. So it's a kind of bottle. Oh, man. It's a bottle. I use this bottle, this water bottle. It's not necessarily just a water bottle, okay? When I am taking care of my plants. Yeah, because my plants need water. So I use this bottle to give water to my plants. No judgment, okay? Priscilla, this is not the correct explanation. Stop thinking of right or wrong. If I help you understand what the object is, that's the job. That's the detox. Because what is the detox supposed to mean? If I don't know the exact word, I failed. My English is terrible. My vocabulary is poor. Let's change that. Let's detox that. Same thing with number 3. Same thing with number 4. That's the mind. Very well. Now you're going to grab a piece of paper, post it, okay, or a pen, okay, and you will write maybe 1 paragraph, 2 sentences, doing your best to describe that object. Okay. But what if I repeat what I thought? No problems. Good memory. Congratulations, you have a good memory. Very nice. I finished. Okay, no judgment. You put it aside, And now you will speak. Don't look at the paper. It's a speaking command. It's an oral command. And then you do the same thing. It's the bottle that I use with water in it, and I take care of my plants with this bottle. There you go. And you finish the exercise. That is tip number 1 in your detox process. It's one part of the activities you're going to do for the next 21 days. That's 1 cycle. When you finish 21 days, you will start a new cycle, following the same strategies, but changing the words, changing the images. And images, okay? I need you to think of images. But Priscilla, how do I find the words? Can I use my language? Yes. Ideally, you will do this with words you don't know how to say in English. So I don't know, I picked this. I know how to say this in Portuguese, my language. I type an image, so I can look at this and then I can describe. But if I don't have the image, then I can use Google Images, okay? But if I have it in my house, then I just look at the object and I describe. Let's say I want to describe this. Oh, I don't know how to say this in English. Okay, describe. So with words you don't know how to say. If you need to go to Google Images and type the name of the word in Portuguese, in Spanish, in French, no problems. It's the MW command that will matter, okay? The commands, the mental command, the written command, the oral command. You just need to find the words, okay? Any word you don't know how to say in your practice time. That's very important, okay? So use objects. I'm not talking, not yet. I will get to the verbs. I will get to the phrasal verbs. I will get to the expressions. But these, I want you to use this with objects. You will think about how to explain this object in English. You will write a few sentences trying to describe this object in English. And you will speak. I skipped the sentences there. And then you speak a few sentences orally, okay? There are some typos here, but you got the gist. So you will think about it, you will write about it, you will speak about it, and you will use objects you don't know how to say in English. Clear? Let's move on. Your brain will resist this process. Everything that is unfamiliar will cause your brain to resist. No, this is uncomfortable, this is too difficult, I don't like it, it's too complicated. But patience and persistence are key. If you don't persist, if you don't have patience, this is not going to work, okay? And again, don't look for perfection, look for execution. Do it. Try. Give it your best, okay? Give it your best. Don't expect to be perfect because it will not be perfect. Don't expect that. No judgment. Oh, this was really bad. Maybe what you can say is, oh, okay, I will do this again and I will do better. That's nice. I can do better. That's much more powerful than, oh, this is not good. No, I can do better because I have the power to do better. Okay, I have the intelligence to do so. Number 2, creating a mental vocabulary software. Now we get into the words. Okay, this is a continuation of the first tip. But here we're going to focus on describing words instead of translating them. This is a process that needs dedication and patience. And we are going to focus mostly on adjectives, verbs, phrasal verbs, and nouns. Oh, Priscilla, what about a preposition? That's more connected to grammar, guys. Okay, so here I'm focusing mostly on vocabulary because many times students get stuck in conversation because they don't know words. They don't know how to use the words. But for grammar, we need to use different strategies. They can help here, but I am focusing a lot on vocabulary, which will be the main character when it comes to getting stuck in conversations, okay? So here, I recommend spending at least 7 days, minimum, like the bare minimum, if you wanna see any little change, okay? Because it's conditioning, it's training. Let's say I start going to the gym. Will I notice anything after 2 days, 3 days? No. Maybe after 7 days, I will see a little something. I will feel a little different. After 21 days, hey, look at me, I'm feeling better. But the repetition of these cycles will be important, okay? So what are you going to do with this vocabulary software? Why am I using the word software? You already have a software in your brain. You already use this software, but it's a different one. It is the panicking software. It is a translating software. And every time you find yourself in a conversation, that software is automatically activated. So our job here is to slowly delete that software. Make it out of date until we install the new software, the one that can explain anything, the one that, oh, I don't know that, oh, I know how to explain it. It is automatic, but that takes time, more than 21 days. But with 21 days, you will notice change. We will continue with the MWO commands, okay? But this time, we're gonna use vocabulary ranging from easy to difficult. You can start with easy words, But you will have to level that up to difficult words. So you can start with familiar words. This is something I do with my students. I start with easy words and then I level up to more difficult words. Okay? And you will need a good online English to English dictionary. I suggest Oxford, Collins, Cambridge, any English to English dictionary because you will need inspiration. Because let's say you will pick some word now in English, not in your language anymore, okay? You will pick some words, some phrasal verbs, some idioms, expressions, some adjectives. You will need to find their meaning. But now we eliminate translation. We start focusing on explanation because by focusing on explanation when you study, you will be better prepared for conversations because you will also learn to explain things you don't know. That's the habit I want to form. I don't know all the words, but I am impeccable when it comes to explaining words, which is why so many people that watch my lessons find it so easy to understand me because I am able to explain complex words and ideas in a simple and efficient way. That's what I want for you, okay? And I know this can happen if you follow the recommendations I am sharing. But let's go. Let's keep going. There's still more to be done. So here I have 8 words, okay? Inexplicable, unbearable, development, creation, countless, to pull off, a phrasal verb, to distinguish, vexing. First and foremost, you will use a dictionary to understand inexplicable. You can also use Google. You will type the word inexplicable plus the symbol plus meaning in English because some computers translate automatically, okay? Unbearable plus meaning in English. And you will find many result options. You will find dictionary options. Google will give you a brief explanation. So I want you to do this with these words. Finished, understood, because if you didn't understand, no problem, no judgment. This is practice. Then you will find another dictionary. 3, 4 dictionaries, okay? Next step, follow the MWO commands. Now, I put the paper aside. I will think about the word. How do I explain inexplicable? How do I explain unbearable? How do I explain development? To a very young child, in a very simple, basic way, how do I explain to distinguish? Then I will write. After the mind practice, I will write. After the right practice, I will speak, okay? That's the process you will follow. Now, one very important point that I need you to observe is the number of words. Don't do this with a lot of words. I will give you a recommendation of the number, and in the challenge that I prepared for you, you will see that I'm not going to exaggerate in the number of words you're going to study per day. And before I move on, make sure to share this video with a friend. I know this video can help many people who get stuck in conversations because they translate a lot in their head. And if they follow this process, I know they will be able to change. And if you want even more than what this lesson can offer you, my 21-day study plan cycle will definitely help you on the journey to fluency because I teach the power of cycles. How to unlock your fluency by changing the way you study, by changing your study cycles. The link is in the description, but let's keep going. Number 3, reminders around the clock, okay? I was gonna say around the clock, around the house, but then I changed to around the clock, but you get the idea. You have to have around the clock, okay? Around the clock, but not all day long. This is a short practice. The explanation is longer, but the execution should be shorter. Morning, afternoon, evening. So if you think about it, 30 minutes for this practice, if you translate a lot in your head, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. But Priscilla, I don't have time. 10 minutes, guys. If 10 minutes is too much, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's the minimum of the minimum, the bare minimum, okay? Morning, afternoon, evening, and set the reminders. That is why you shouldn't do this with too many words, because it is a long-term game. It's not a game you're going to win overnight. It is a process. Imagine this software, the translating software you have been using. How long have you been using that translation habit? Now, to change it, we also need to give it time and patience and understanding. So this practice is supposed to be short and repeated a few times a day with the same words. So don't pick too many words and images, okay? Because in tip number 1, I'm talking about images. Tip number 2, I'm talking about words. And tip number 3 is the repetition throughout the day, spaced repetition. So you will do this once in the morning, same words again in the afternoon, same words again in the evening. You will see things will start to change, okay? And what should you expect? These tips will only work if you follow them consistently. If you don't follow them consistently, they won't work. Think of a puppy. A cute little baby dog, a puppy, okay? A baby dog, a puppy. That puppy needs to be trained, okay? Otherwise, it's gonna be a wild dog. So you need to be patient and train and persist and keep going and not be judgmental. It's the same thing with the tips that I'm sharing here in this video, okay? Now, the 7-day translation detox challenge, how is it going to work? I would recommend taking a screenshot or coming back to this video. But here we have the first one, day 1. We have the words spoiled, the verb turned down, and the image for you to describe. And following the mind, M, W, O commands. Mind, write, speak. Okay? There you go, oral. Because it's oral practice, mind practice, writing practice, oral practice. Day 2, imaginative, bank on, and then we have another picture. Day 3, nosy, go off, and then we have another picture. Day 4, bossy, eat out, and then we have another picture. Not they stare, the thing, huh? They stare is very easy. The thing next to the stare where, I'm not gonna do it, I can't do the exercise for you. Day 5, diverse, give back. And then we have that image over there. Day 6, frivolous, take up. Then we have another image. Ludicrous, pay back. Then we have another image. So again, think about it, write about it, describe, be intentional with this practice. Guys, I know with these recommendations, with your persistence, you will be able to improve. You will be able to change, to notice change. That's what I have been repeating, and in every video I talk about 21-day challenges. That is my ultimate intention. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, but other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!